I am Abang Muhammad Sharifuddin Zidan bin Abang Ismail.
Good morning to Dr. Hafiz and my fellow friends. I am Abang Muhammad Nazamin Gani from class IM222.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ferry Ulakana Philip. I'm from class IMD222A.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Hafiz. I am Nur Fatehah Amirah from IM1104A.
My name is Suhani Dawati.
Hi, my name is Ferry, and today I'm going to talk about introduction of SSD and history of SSD. So for the introduction, solid-state drive is a solid-state storage device that uses integrated circuit assemblies as memory to store data. Form factors and protocols like SATA and SAS of traditional hard disk drive could be used by SSD, which could simply of SSDs in computers. There are no any moving mechanical components in SSD, which makes them different from other conventional electromechanical drives such as floppy disk or HDDs. Because these contain movable read or write heads and spinning disks. SSD are usually more resistant to physical shock, have quicker access time, run silently, and lower latency compared to the electrochemical devices. SSD are to be constructed from random access memory for application requiring fast access but not necessary data persistent after power loss. SSD can also store data in electronical charges, which slowly leak over time. It left without power. SSD, it was originated in 1950s with two similar technologies, which are magnetic core memory and card capacitor read-only store. In 1970s and 1980s, SSD were implemented in semiconductor memory for early IBM, Dow, and Cray supercomputers. In the late 1970s, General Instruments produced an electrically tradable ROM which operated in non-flash memory. From 2009 until now, software-based RAM disks are still used by many people because it provides a much faster magnitude compared to other technology, even though they consume more CPU resources and cost more on per gigabyte basis.
Okay, today I'm gonna talk about use and function of the technology. So the first one is the function of SSD is storage medium of hard drive. Second is SSD is a flash memory or also categorized as non-volatile memory. And the third is its contain its own processor to manage its storage. Fourth, SSD also function as a controller. Fifth, and also is a function to optimize the deliver high read and write performance in random data requests. Lastly is it is also functioning if the user transport the computer or mobile device frequently, want to faster access to store item and need to quicker drive, such as for audio recording.
The gadgets that use solid-state drive are computers, supercomputers, and laptops. SSD is the hardware component in the computer for it to store the data of the computer. Usually, the operating system such as Windows and Mac OS is installed on the drive. When a user creates a document, they can look for the document that they have created in the storage drive where it is saved. They also can transfer their documents to other devices such as flash drive or external hard drives. The users do not have to be worried about the speed of the system because it is fast, but the disadvantage is that it has a lower storage capacity. The SSD also uses less power, which will lower the energy bill over time, and this will cause the battery life of the computer will be increased. For the supercomputer, it has a higher level of performance compared to a normal computer. Supercomputer is important in these modern days because it is used in various fields such as quantum mechanics, weather forecasting, climate research, oil and gas exploration, and molecular modeling. The solid-state drive has access speeds of 35 to 100 milliseconds, which means it is 100 times faster than hard disk drive. The supercomputer would run the program quickly, which is useful because supercomputer will access a large amount of data every day. The solid-state drive could help speed up the internal data transfers, which will be more useful and save the time. The solid-state drive and the supercomputer is built to help break the bottlenecks and improve the internal throughput in distributed computing system. The last one would be the laptop. The uses of solid-state drive in laptop is that the operating system will boot more faster, where users do not have to be worried about the system to be crashed each time using the laptop. Next, the solid-state drive is a lightweight, which is good for the laptop since users bring their laptop anywhere to do their work, such as assignments or any task that they have. Users also does not have to be worried about the moving parts in the laptop because solid-state drive does not have any. Solid-state drive also uses flash memory to store its data, which will provide a better reliability and a better performance of the laptop. The laptop also would have the battery life increase since the solid-state drive uses less power.
So I will compare with the previous technology, which is SSD and HDD. Okay, the first one I'm going to talk about capacity. The capacity of SSD is although there are a large SSD, anything over 1 TB, SSD is usually outside of most people price range. And HDD is several terabyte hard disk drive are available for reasonable prices. So it's actually very cheapest than SSD. So the second one criteria is heat. The heat of SSD, which is because there are no moving parts and due to the nature of flash memory, the SSD generates less heat, helping to increase its lifespan and reliability. So SSD is more secure to use and really safety. So HDD heat is with moving parts come an added heat that can slowly damage electronic over time. So the higher the heat, the greater the potential for wear and the damage. HDD actually not very safety because it can protect from the heat of the PC. So the second criteria, which is magnetism, SSD is not affected by magnetism, and for the HD is because the hard drive relies on the magnetism to write information to the data, and information could be erased from HDD using strong magnet. Okay, the fourth criteria is noise. With no moving parts, SSD generates no noise. So basically SSD is one of the smooth technology because it is more to the future technology, because it is used and built with a professional technologies. So the noise for HDD is with the spinning platters and moving with right heads, and HDD can sometimes be one of the loudest component in your computer. Sometimes HDD sounds actually quite like sound of helicopter, so noisy and cannot be focused when we want to focus on something like test or examination. So the fifth is price. Price of the SSD is price of solid state drive is higher than a HDD, which is why most computers with an SSD only have a few hundred gigabyte of storage. The desktop computer with an SSD may also have one or more HDD for extra storage. For the HDD is cheaper than SSD, especially for drive over 1 TB. So the sixth criteria is reliability. The reliability of the SSD has no moving parts because it is just one component that stays in one place. So uses flash memory to store data, which provide better performance and reliability over an HDD. So the reliability for HDD is the HDD has moving parts and magnetic patterns, meaning the more use they get, the faster they wear down and fail and get broken. Sometimes the magnet of HDD will lose a bit because people gonna open and close with so many times. So the seventh criteria, which is size. The size of the SSD has access speed of 35 to 100 microseconds, which is nearly 100 times faster. Other than that, its faster access speed means program can run faster, which is very significant, especially for the program that access large amount of data, often like your operating system. So the size HDD is usually 3.5 and 2.5 in size for desktop and the laptops respectively, with no option for anything smaller. So the eighth criteria is speed. The SSD has access speed of 35 to 100 microseconds, which is nearly 100 times faster, can run faster, which can program that access large amount of data like operating system. And the HDD also typically takes about 5,000 to 1,000 microseconds to access the data. It is actually takes too long when we compare to the SSD, because SSD is actually the fastest if you want to access to the application or any Microsoft software. So I recommend to use SSD in the future.
I will explain about the advantages and limitations of this technology. The first one is regarding the cost of SSD. The advantage is, although it is expensive, it does have a higher lifetime cost. The limitation is, it is expensive in terms of upfront cost. The second one is regarding the data stored in the computer. Because when using SSD, the data is permanently deleted, so it is useful for maintaining data security. The flaw in this is, it is unable to recover all data when there is accidental deletions of this data. The third one is about the durability. SSD has no moving parts, so it makes them more durable when there is accidental drop or when it collides with other hard object. The next one is regarding the power consumption. SSD consumes less power because there is no motor running in it. This also results in longer battery life. The next one is about the speed of SSD. Due to not containing any physical parts, SSD have faster boot times, file transferring, application loading, and read and write operation. The next one is regarding the storage capacity of SSD. Unfortunately, this falls in the limitations because SSD usually comes with lower.
So and continue with the next slide, which is the feature of the technology. These are the example of SATA and the example of SAS. The feature of solid state drive. It has a great performance than HHD because it is faster than the HHD, such as waking up from sleep, faster boosting, and the performance. It will of course require high cost because of the technology that SSD have than the HHD. SSD is not easy to break because of the size and does not have mechanical parts. The fragmentation is hard to happen when it comes to SSD. The best uses for SSD are laptops, notebooks, and other digital things such as camera because it is lightweight. The speeds of SSD will make many users attracted to it even though the pricing is much higher than HDDs. The less heat generation and also less power consumptions that leads to longer battery life makes consumers choose SSD, especially for the gamers. As SSD data recovery also make the feature of this technology becomes higher than the HHD.
In the conclusion, we did a comparison about these two important components in the PC because so that people will choose the right storage to their PC. And the important about these two items are actually the same, but the function and the advantages of each component are really different. But all the items support PC and Windows. Without these two items, computer would be slower. In the future, this technology will be more important to the new generation of the technology because the function and the power support about this technology will be effective to the new technology.